Folks, I have a good friend, Kevin Stevens, here. How are you, Kevin?
I am well, thank you.
We see each other like Pittsburgh, Boston.
I know, it's great. It's good to be back, and
Yeah.
good that you're out here in Boston, from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. We have both our
Yeah.
shows running in,
Yeah.
both in Pittsburgh and Boston, and I'm really grateful. We were at PPG
Mm-hmm.
and had some time on air on your segment
Yeah.
with Power Forward, your nonprofit, and now always welcome you back to our Mohsin program. Doing great work, you and Kelly, your wonderful sister,
Mm-hmm.
doing some life-changing work in respect to the nonprofit Power Forward with, the opiate crisis
Yeah.
continues, right?
Yeah, it continues. It's one of those things that I don't think it's ever gonna end, but we can do the best we can to kind of do what we can do. We can only do so much, and like I said, it was we had a thing out there in Pittsburgh with Family Links. It's kind of the second year we've been with them, and they've been great. They're a great company. They got great people that work there, and all they want to do is really help people. And
Yes.
it's kind of been great kind of teaming up with them, especially in the Pittsburgh area, because like I said, I live here in Boston. I get to go to Pittsburgh and do some stuff there where that's the big place in my heart. I kind of grew up there, and I was kind of spent 10 years there early in my life, and I love Pittsburgh. And then I can come home. I live here, and like I said, we have the Power Forward Foundation and doing the radio show, which is we do it out of here, but it simulcast goes into Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been good. There's been a lot of good stuff, a lot of good feedback, and like I said, Sarah, it's not we're not going to cure everybody. I'm not going to cure everybody. I can't, but I can send a message of hope, and that's the only thing that we can do. It's kind of it's crazy out there. And when you're in the front lines, kind of like I am, and I see a lot of it, and it's crazy. It's just something it's going to be with us for a while, but we can help one person, two people a day today. It's worth getting up and trying to do it.
It is, and I think that you used the right word. It's hope, and bringing
Yeah.
hope with, any type of addiction is a tough thing to, whether it's opiates or drinking or smoking,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. It's the fact of the matter is that I have a great deal of respect for you because you've stepped up and you've been very upfront and honest, and you've been able to bring that positivity to it
Yeah.
because there is an afterlife of that, right?
Yeah, there is. I think it's it took me 6, 7, 8 times maybe to get this thing, and I think we all kind of, no one knows when someone's going to get it, and I understand that more than anything because I've been through it, and I see people that relapse and people, keep getting themselves jammed up a little bit, but, those are the people, they can get it someday, and they have to believe they can get it someday, because I don't know why I got it. I got it when I did, and it took me 20 years to get it, and I had a lot of loss and a lot of pain. And a lot of people, that's what you have to do. And some people don't have to go through that pain. And some people lose completely everything. There's a mixture of everyone, but everybody can get it. I've seen people that live on the street,
Right.
now own companies. People that the stories that you're kind of like, wow, how would I have done if I went down that down there? But you know what? If you're an addict and you're an alcoholic, it's we're all the same. Our brains work completely the same. We just go to different places and do different things, but there's always that hope if you want to, surrender. I think that's the biggest thing. You need to surrender to the disease. You need to accept that you have a disease, and sometimes that's the hardest thing for all of us is kind of accept it, And once you accept it and you want to get better, there's always all kinds of places where you can get better.
There is, and I think that, what you've created with Kelly Wilson, your sister, with the nonprofit Power Forward, is reaching out to people that can say, okay, when I'm ready, I can do this. You speak at events. We just actually had some great people from Special Olympics who are also involved in other areas where they would want you to speak as well on something that is a part of everyday living.
Yeah.
Whether it's a relative, a friend, someone has some type of addiction issue. Opiates now is one, I think, listed as number one now when it comes to the crisis that we're facing. It's also important to, and this is a celebration with your division of Power Forward, is the Integrated Healthcare Solutions with Catherine Dorsey. So she's now going to be a part of the process of how do we build back without necessarily having to have medication in place, maybe through yoga and Reiki and, some of the more spiritual sides of healing, right?
Yeah, and I think that's important too because, pretty much the easy way out is medication. That's like, everybody can go to the doctor and say, I'm hurting, and you know, my son broke his 2 legs, you know, and he doesn't have to take medication. There's all kinds of different ways to do this, and I think Catherine's really stepped up to the plate because she's, you know, she's at the front of it. She was going to get to the doctors. She's going to get the people that do the medication and supply these things. And sometimes you have to supply this medication, but I think it's all about really knowing, you know, about it and being more upfront, like especially parents and, you know, and when a doctor gives you 30 pills, you don't have to take all 30. You know,
Right.
a lot of these doctors, I mean, a lot of these parents, which don't know. And I'm not blaming any of the parents because, you know, where I grew up and like I didn't grow up in a rich place, but you know, no one really knows the stigma of this. If you're not involved in this addiction thing, you're not involved in the opiates, you can hear things, but you don't really know. If your kid goes to the dentist and the doctor gives you 30 of those things and said, take them so your teeth feel better and you don't need them anymore. A lot of people take them, and I think there's so many different ways to look at it. There's so many different things out, and there's so many things we can learn. I think Catherine too is out there, kind of, you know, gonna go a different way, and hopefully she can get out there and we can help with Power Forward and kind of do the things to kind of get a different way of recovery instead of just, you know, going to the doctor and getting medication and, you know,
Exactly.
and actually taking care of, you know, you can do it in a physical way. You can do it a lot of different ways, but you don't really need all that medication.
You don't, and the education is key. It's not that anyone is to blame in respect to giving the pills or, you know, just the parents don't know. They're not doctors. They're, you know, they are given, and then you think, okay, every time there's pain you have to take it, but not necessarily. There's ways to manage, and with this exciting new division of Power Forward, the integrated healthcare solutions with Catherine Dorsey, with her own personal experience, she's, you know, adding value to the maybe a natural way of healing as well. So I think that's really exciting. I think it's a really important part of today's world as well.
Yeah.
But I always look at you and you put a smile on my face because you are truly so honest and remarkable in respect to your humility. You're like a superstar. You really are a hockey player, like a legend. People like love you, and it's one of those things where when you step up and you're upfront about things, about being human, and people get like surprised. I'm like, everybody's human. Everybody has like things that happen. It's a bumpy road.
Yeah, it is. It is a bumpy road. It is. You know, it's you know, when I hit addiction, you wanted someone's life. You probably wanted mine. It was pretty good. You know, it was won 2 Stanley Cups as a first-team All-Star. You know, had a beautiful wife. I had everything you need to really be successful. And I made a choice, right? I think it's about all of us making choices and decisions. I made a choice to try something at 28 years old where I never tried any of this stuff. Yeah. And I had something in my brain that kind of kicked off, and I really didn't know what it was, and it took me down this path. You know, and that's, and all I can do really, the most important thing I can do is tell the truth, like what happened to me, because that's, you know, that's what happened. Like, I'm not like, I want to be in the Hall of Fame. I want to win more Stanley Cups, but this is what happened, you know, because I made a choice, right? And that's the only thing I try to tell at any level, kids, parents, like anything. It's about good choices, right? If you don't make, you might be 100,000 people making a bad choice, and nothing affects them, but you might be that person where you make that choice, that bad choice, and it affects you. So it's not like, why do you have to try this stuff? Why do it? Why even try to, you know, that's what I try to say. You know, you don't need to try, because I was on top of the world and tried it and lost a lot, you know, and it's just like, that's just what happens, and that's addiction, that's alcohol, that's all what it is. And the biggest thing about education is you don't know if you have that in your brain. You don't know if you have that gene, you know.
You don't, and when you step up, what you're doing is you're creating now that space for people to say, okay, there's hope and there's conversation, and everybody can be touched by this. It's not like, oh, there are these perfect people that live in their little perfect house. It doesn't exist. Everyone has things that go on, you know, and how do we fix it? We talk about it, we share, we tell people that we're real, and so I thank you, Kevin. You know, I admire you, and you're like family. You are family, you and Kelly. So it's very inspirational with the nonprofit Power Forward. Folks, you can call us here at 1-800-662-9550, and we'll have you back.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah.
Stay well, folks.